Pirate Bay, a digital utopia for some, a nightmare for others. It was a go-to spot for free movies, music, and games, turning the internet into a treasure chest for millions. But as quickly as it rose to fame, the storms rolled in. Big entertainment wanted it gone, sparking a global game of hide-and-seek. Servers bounced around the world, courtroom battles made headlines, and Pirate Bay stood its ground, becoming a symbol of digital defiance. But this story, it's not as clear-cut as it seems. It's a journey through hidden servers, legal loopholes, and the blurred lines of internet freedom. Pirate Bay was a maze, and navigating it was a wild ride. Pirate Bay began as an idea among friends and activists within the Swedish pro-culture organization called Piratbyran. This collective, driven by a shared ideology against the traditional copyright system, was looking to create a platform that democratized the distribution of content. The site was initially brought online from Mexico by Gottfried Svartholm, also known as Anakata, on a server belonging to the company he worked for at the time. Friedrich Nage, or Tiamo, soon became instrumental in the operation, hosting the site on his Pentium 3 laptop with 256 megabytes of RAM after it moved to Sweden. As the platform's popularity surged, it quickly outgrew its humble beginnings. Within a year, the Pirate Bay coordinated 1 million peers and over 60,000 torrent files. It wasn't just Scandinavians flocking to the site. By the end of 2004, 80% of its users were from other parts of the world. This prompted a full redesign in July to accommodate its international audience, offering the site in multiple languages. By the end of 2005, the Pirate Bay was tracking 2.5 million peers, a number that only continued to grow despite legal pressures and takedown notices from the entertainment industry. Early days of the Pirate Bay were marked not only by rapid technology growth, but also a distinct culture among its founders and users. The founders were united by a hacker ethic and a belief in the copy me or copy me philosophy, which encouraged the unrestricted copying and sharing of information and media. This philosophy shaped the site's defiant response to legal threats and its resilient structure that could withstand takedown efforts. However, Pirate Bay is more than a site. Imagine you're standing in front of the world's biggest library. Every shelf is packed with books, movies, music albums, software packages, you name it. Now, what if I told you you could borrow anything you wanted, all for free? Sounds tempting, right? That's the allure of the Pirate Bay, except this library exists in the corners of the internet. So, how does it work? The Pirate Bay is essentially a search engine, but not just any search engine. It's specifically designed to scour the internet for torrent files. These are small files containing metadata, like a treasure map of sorts. These maps direct your computer to parts of the larger files that could be hosted on multiple computers worldwide. When you click download, you're not just downloading from a single source. Instead, you're pulling tiny bits from many different sources, assembling them like a jigsaw puzzle on your computer. What set the Pirate Bay apart was its user-friendly interface. Anyone could come in and search for a file, click and download. It's almost like using Google, but the results are torrent files that enable you to download content directly to your computer. Now, it's crucial to note that the Pirate Bay itself didn't host any of the copyrighted material. It merely acted as a directory, an index that pointed you to where you could find it. Pirate Bay's journey from a humble operation to an internet colossus began well before 2006. But it was this year that the saga truly intensified, following a high-profile raid by Swedish police on May 31st, 2006. The site was down, but not for long. Friedrich, Gottfried, and Peter Sande, the site's co-founders, quickly brought Pirate Bay back online, displaying their resilience. In the words of Sande, "We can't and won't be stopped." By 2008, the Pirate Bay boasted over 25 million users and was facilitating the exchange of over a billion files. The user base wasn't just growing, it was becoming a community, a collective of individuals rallying against what they perceived as gatekeeping of information by corporations. However, 2009 was a rough year for Pirate Bay. The founders faced a high-stakes trial in Sweden, and in April, they were convicted. The court sentenced them to 1 year in prison each and a hefty fine. Despite this setback, Pirate Bay user numbers continued to climb, and by the site's metrics, they were servicing over 30 million users. Even as their founders battled their legal troubles, with numerous appeals and court dates, Pirate Bay's platform remained loyal. Their struggle was evident in Age's 2010 declaration. Even if you take down the site, the idea will not die. This belief was reflected in the site's continued operations, even after the Swedish court ordered it to be shut down. Innovation was still a hallmark of Pirate Bay during this time. In 2012, they experimented with sending servers into the sky with drones to avoid law enforcement, a vivid illustration of their commitment to keeping the site unreachable for authorities. The end of this era came abruptly. By 2013, the founders had been apprehended in Age in Thailand, Schwarzkopf in Cambodia, and Sande in Sweden. Their arrests marked the end of their direct involvement with Pirate Bay, but not the end of the platform. In 2013, following the arrest of its original founders, Pirate Bay entered a new chapter under anonymous ownership. This period marked a significant shift for the platform as it continued to operate in an increasingly competitive and evolving digital landscape amidst the growing domination of legal streaming services like Netflix and Spotify. The Pirate Bay faced a challenging period marked by the resilience of its platform despite efforts to shatter its operations. Following a raid by Swedish police in December 2014, which led to the seizure of its servers and equipment, Pirate Bay experienced temporary downtime. However, it bounced back quickly as copies of the site went online within days, with oldpiratebay.org by Izzo Hunt being one of the most notable ones. Pirate Bay adapted to the changing digital environment by transitioning from hosting torrent files to exclusively offering magnet links, which made the site less vulnerable to legal challenges and reduced operational costs. Despite these efforts and a robust user base, the rise of legal streaming alternatives like Netflix, which offered a vast library of content without the risk associated with torrenting, as well as Spotify, which revolutionized music consumption with its streaming model, presented significant competition. These platforms provided a user-friendly and lawful alternative for accessing media, which contributed to the decline in the popularity of torrent sites.